Kim and Val and I came to a meeting over 2 years ago, and we served our first meal on April 1st, 2022, and we were serving once a month, and now we're doing it every Thursday at the First Christian Church building at 5th and Santa Fe, and pass those out. We do a monthly menu, and pass out flyers and put it on Facebook. I think I gave you the agenda there with that. As our name indicates, Kitchen of Kindness, we serve food, and Val is our primary cook now, and he makes a lot of good, hot, nourishing meals, and we serve up to like 50 or 60 meals each week, and that means our cost of food is about $70 average each week, and we get assistance from Associated Charities, a lot of that. And we get donations from individuals and also a few churches that has kept us above water. We've never been unable to provide a meal up until this point because of the donations that we receive. And it's because of the generosity of the people, and the time that we attended here, everybody was very encouraging and supportive of what we were trying to do, and I think you continue to do so. What we're doing now, as Joe indicated, I call you Joe, Mayor Joe. We recently got our nonprofit association, finally, after 2 years of effort. Aaron was in on some of that, and Dan Horton, I think, the attorney, helped us a great deal. And so we just recently got that, which means all of our donations that we now get are tax exempt. And the bad news for you is that we don't have to pay the sales tax. We've applied for that, or are in the process of applying for tax exemption, sales tax exemption, but we haven't received that yet. And so all that means is we're looking towards the future. And when we started, Kim and I, this is Kim, this is Val, and this is Casey, that are supporting us here, and volunteers. We're all volunteers. And Kim and I sat down at a table with her husband and came up with this idea that we were going to have a homeless shelter. Well, that was a little ambitious, so we backed off and got some more volunteers after our meeting here, our attendance here, and decided to do the meals and then work towards buying our own facility. Right now, like I said, we're serving once a week at the Christian Church, and they've been very kind to let us use their facilities, and there's some upgrades that need to be made for a commercial kitchen, which would be the next step that we encounter. And what we have to do is either upgrade their kitchen or get a place of our own, which we would like to eventually get a place of our own. And that means more money. We've applied for some grants, and some corporations, since we got our nonprofit, have indicated that they might be willing to provide us some funds, which is wonderful. We're not just nickel and diming it anymore. We're looking for some larger contributions. And so that's what we hope to do, is to eventually be able to provide a place of our own with a commercial kitchen, and there's health department regulations, of course, that we have to abide by in that. And then also eventually our idea is to possibly, like in the freezing weather, we could provide shelter for some, at least on a temporary basis, and work towards doing it at a full-time shelter. Our main goal is to help those that are in need, and I think, as your prayer indicated, everybody's important. Doesn't matter if you're on the streets or whatever. We're all, as I say, made in the image of God. The Bible says that. I didn't say that. And so there are people that we're trying to help are struggling, and we have resources, or we look for resources to try to help them in various ways, including food and shelter in certain cases. And if there's alcohol, lots of alcohol and drug problems, we try to provide them with resources to overcome that and help them get back on their feet. And that's why we started this, and also we've started with Casey is primarily in charge of our clothing giveaway. When it got cold this winter, we had donations of bedding and blankets as well as warm clothes, and those went pretty fast. We've still got some, but they've been given away quite rapidly. And so that's where we're at now. Anything y'all want to add?
No, you covered it.
I have a question for you, Terry.
All right.
How has it grown since you guys started? How many people are you feeding
Okay.
currently?
When we started, we were serving at the Santa Fe part, and we might have 10 to 20, 25. Now we're serving like 60, 65 meals each week. I average about 50 probably.
Are these all
Mike.
homeless?
No, they're primarily struggling. They may have a home, but they find difficult to make ends meet. And then we have a couple older ladies who just like to come for the
Marguerite?
socialization.
So any of the homeless that you do serve, and you stated that you're giving them resources to get help, since there is no shelter in this area, is there a way, to maybe refer them to go somewhere where they could have a full-time shelter?
Living with us, and it got to a point that it just wasn't working out, at least for us, and for you too, I think. And so that's what prompted us to say there's got to be a better way to do this.
Well, we appreciate what you do.
When we started out, Terry and Faith Smalling in their home had some that were currently homeless and had substance abuse problems. My husband, Clint Thomason, and I also had some in our home that were not substance abuse but were homeless. It was an older woman, an 80-year-old woman and her son. Over the years, we've learned that you cannot do this on your own in your own home. You can't bring this home with you. And so we have worked to gather resources from all the agencies in the area. And we initially talked to people in all these agencies too about what the need was. And so we hand out that information. We help with filling out paperwork because sometimes that's overwhelming. We help with rides to go pick up applications for housing. Although, as you probably know, most housing available to the low income in our area is a long waiting list, very long waiting list. We've had some success stories, people that got on their feet, got jobs, were able to maybe relocate to another area where they found a home. We have referred people to shelters, other places, and we have provided a bus ticket to get them there. We have various agencies. Quite often, we notice towards the end of the month we have bigger groups than the beginning of the month. And what we realized was that by the end of the month, your food stamps and money runs out. We have families with children coming. We have elderly coming. We have homeless, we have transients, we have what I call homegrown homeless that, for what usually due to substance abuse, have worn out their welcome with family, but still stay in the area, and we assist them with food and clothing and resources to agencies that are available in our area. And so we've been just mostly just support and paperwork, stuff like that. Any
Thank
questions?
you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Good luck, Terry.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to put up somehow to contact you if they want to?
Yes, down there. No. My phone number, if you want it, is 719-468-7157. And meant to say that we also have a Facebook page that we put those menus on every month, and we have like 679 followers, so that's our main advertising is the flyers, which we post around town as well as on Facebook. And, something I forget, you asked about the numbers. Last winter, we got a little down because our numbers fell off when we moved indoors, and we didn't know why that was, but that hasn't been a problem this year. So that they now know where we're at and where to find us, I think, and so that's caused our numbers to go up considerably.
Terry, there was a lady.
And besides, the food is good.
There's a question back here.
There's a question back here.
Yes.
Last fall, there was, I found a kid who was sleeping in a shed that was on an abandoned property. And he didn't know anything about where he could go for help, and I didn't know either. So what would I tell somebody if that happens again? I mean, like, is there an address? What's besides Kitchen of Kindness?
We serve at the First Christian Church, which is 109 West 5th, and we enter on the Santa Fe. We're there every Thursday.
So,
But
if
you
he
can
needed
call
a
the-
place to sleep, or
We don't have emergency housing,
you don't have anything yet?
no. No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, well, I can tell him where he can get something to eat.
Yeah, you can give me my phone number.
Well, I haven't seen him again.
Did you have a?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. This is Val. He's.
To go into your question a little bit, the Pier House on 613 Barnes, he can get some resources there.
Oh, okay.
But aside from that, I also wanted to say that we want to be available for emergencies and things like that too.
Yeah, that was the idea of if we get our own place, like the last 2 winters, there've been some extreme weather, that possibly we could be a resource for helping with that too.
Do you need winter coats and blankets?
Not now.
Not now? I know a bunch of kids that leave the dorms every year about May 5th and leave behind a lot of blankets.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how to recycle them.
Yeah, we
do it.
could take them and
Okay.
put them away for next winter.
Yeah, I mean, I can even find a place to hang on to them for you, but
That'd be
I'll
great.
give you a call.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.